All right, students, so now let's do our lab session. All right, so as we have spoken about, we have our blood divided into plasma and then the form elements. For the form elements, we have spoken about the red cells, leukocytes, and platelets. And then for the plasma, we have protein composing 7%, and then 2% for the other solutes, and then 91% for the water, right? So for the proteins, we know albumin is the most abundant, then globulins, and then fibrinogen. Then for the other solutes, it's iron, nutrients, waste product, gases, and regulatory substances. Okay? So blood smear is a microscopic slide of the whole blood. It contains the following four elements. It has red cells, white blood cells, and platelets. All right, so this is a blood smear. Basically, what you do is you drop a drop of blood on a slide, then you stain it, and then you do something called a smear with the other slide. And here is where you see a sea of red cells with other white cells and other form elements. Red cells are the most abundant of the blood smear. And then you'll see them, they have that like live saver shape. All right, so we see them here. They are all over this slide here. You see them here. And then these little dots here are platelets. And then these guys here are white cells, okay? This is a fancier slide when you can see the red cells, okay? You see that lifesaver shape, okay? Then the platelets, they're cellular fragments, they're not cells, they're much smaller than the red cells and the white cells, and they appear in purple colored dots in our smear. And you see them here. You can see platelets all over here, okay? As you can see, they're smaller than the red cells and the white cells. The white cells are less abundant than the red cells, but they're larger and they're easy to tell apart once they're stained. You got basophils, you got neutrophils, you got eosinophils, lymphocytes, and monocytes. Here on this slide, you can see different white cells. You have neutrophils here, and then a basophil here. So neutrophils are the most abundant ones. They're twice the size of red cells. They have granules in the cytoplasm, and those are the ones that we have spoken about that contain some chemicals to kill foreign bodies, right? Their nucleus are purple in color, and they usually have 3 to 6 lobes, and that's how you can tell them apart from the rest. Here you see dotted cytoplasm, and then their nuclei, it's kind of like linked like this. Same thing here. Neutrophil, small granules, and the nuclei. And if you guys see here, we see more of the red cells. Another image for neutrophils. Basophils, so they are the reddest of all the white cells. Their cytoplasm has a lot of granules, and that's why you see all this. This are all granules. So their nucleus is also red, deep purple, but it's hidden because of all those granules. See them here? They're very easy to spot because you can see like their shape, but also their granules. Okay, eosinophils. So twice the size of red cells. The nuclei kind of looks like a Spider-Man to me. I don't think the telephone receiver applies anymore. So they're bilobed nuclei, okay? And their cytoplasm has granules that appear pink and red or in crimson to color. So that's a good giveaway for them, okay? See them here? The nuclei and the cytoplasm. All right, so we have lymphocytes here. It's the second most numerous white cell, and you can tell apart because they are spherical, but also their nuclei is super big compared to the cytoplasm. Okay, so you will see a cell, and then their nucleus is super big, occupying most of the cytoplasm. And you see it here. A big old nucleus with a little bit of cytoplasm. Same here. Big nucleus, a little bit of cytoplasm. Same here. And then you have the monocyte. The monocyte is the largest of white cells. Has a large amount of pale blue cytoplasm. It usually has like a kidney-shaped nuclei, and that's a dead giveaway. It's big, but also their nucleus is kind of kidney shape. You see it here. See it here. You can see how purple bluish their cytoplasm is, but also how the nucleus is. And of course, we are in a sea of red cells. Same here. Same here. Some resources. And then we see it all together. So we see neutrophils here. See how their nuclei look like and the color of the cytoplasm. You have platelets over here, small little dots. Then you have a lymphocyte, big nucleus, little cytoplasm, and a monocyte, big boy, kidney-shaped nucleus, pinkish and crimson. Okay? Here, you guys get to see some neutrophils here, lymphocyte, monocyte. Here, neutrophil, see the nuclei and the color. And here is our friend the basophil, because it's spheric, but also it's covered in those granules. And then of course you guys can see red cells and platelets. Lymphocyte, neutrophil, platelets, red cells. So we see here neutrophils. And this will be a lymphocyte. If you guys look closely, it doesn't have a lot of granules. And I can see a nucleus here and a little bit of cytoplasm here. I'm going to erase that so you guys can take a look on it. See? Another neutrophil and platelets. We have a neutrophil and a lymphocyte next to each other. We see neutrophils here. And now we're going to have a little bit more description. So you guys see here a neutrophil with a nucleus that is changed, and then the color is pinkish. Then we have the eosinophil, has like that Spider-Man shape, at least that it looks to me like Spider-Man, and it's crimson, so it's a good giveaway when it's crimson and reddish. Then you have your basophil, which is cover all those granules. Your lymphocyte with a big nucleus and a little bit of cytoplasm, okay? And then you have your friend the monocyte with a kind of like kidney-shaped nucleus, but also bigger than the rest of the guys here, okay? All right, eosinophil, crimson, Spider-Man-like nuclei, because it's bilobule, and crimson in color, right? The basophil, in a perfect world, or not a perfect world, but like how you will guys see it in the smear, it's going to be covered in all those granules. And it has a nucleus, but it's covered by all those granules. Then you have the monocyte, big boy, a little bit of a kidney-shaped nucleus. And then you have the lymphocyte with a bigger nucleus, okay? Now we see the gang together here. You got the lymphocyte big nucleus. Monocyte, big boy with a kidney-shaped nucleus. The red cell with no nucleus, lifesaver shaped. Neutrophil, the most abundant, with a changed nuclei. Eosinophil, bilobed, Spider-Man-like, crimson in color, and the basophil that is full with those granules. All those guys, as you can see, have nuclei. The red cell doesn't have it. All right, so here, what do we have? We have a eosinophil. Then we have a neutrophil here. We have a basophil, neutrophil, monocyte, another monocyte. We have a lymphocyte here. This guy will be another monocyte, lymphocyte, neutrophil, erythrocyte, and these little dots here are platelets. We see here, neutrophil, see the shape, eosinophil, see the shape, crimson, bilobed nuclei, in the neutrophil, chain nuclei, basophil, again, full of granules, so you'll never see the nucleus. The monocyte with that big nucleus, kidney shaped and bigger than the rest. And then the lymphocyte with a big nuclei. All right, we got a neutrophil here. And then we have a basophil here. Neutrophil, basophil, neutrophil, lymphocyte. See how big that nucleus is? And if you guys see, this is a whole iteration of just neutrophils all together. Here we have the neutrophil, basophil. What do you guys think this guy is? This guy is a lymphocyte. Eosinophil, crimson in color, Spider-Man looking nuclei, and then this big boy is a monocyte. This is a eosinophil, crimson in color, Spider-Man shaped nuclei. Neutrophil, chain nuclei. Lymphocyte, big nucleus. Basophil, bunch of granules. Monocyte, kidney-shaped nucleus, big boy. Neutrophil, bilobed nuclei, crimson color, eosinophil. See the crimson color and the bilobed nuclei. This guy is full of granules. It's a basophil. Big nucleus, little bit of cytoplasm, lymphocyte, kidney-shaped nucleus, big boy, monocyte, basophil. See basophils here as well. This guy is a neutrophil, chain nuclei, monocyte, big nucleus, little cytoplasm. All right, we have a monocyte here. If you guys see, it's a big cell with a kidney-shaped nuclei. Then here, you guys see is a big cell with regular but kind of kidney-shaped nucleus. And if you guys see here, just like pieces of cell, which are platelets. All right, here we got a lymphocyte, big nuclei, a little bit of cytoplasm. Same here. Big nucleus, a little bit of cytoplasm. Then this guy is full of granules. You cannot see the nucleus, so that means it's a basophil. Same here. Bunch of granules, basophil. Connected nuclei, big boy, neutrophil. You guys can see here neutrophil as well. Chain nuclei, neutrophil, granules, basophil, big old nuclei, a little bit of cytoplasm, lymphocyte, chain nuclei, bigger than the red cells, neutrophil, kidney-shaped nuclei here and here, big boy, monocyte, kidney-shaped, big nucleus, lymphocyte, Spider-Man looking cell, eosinophil, neutrophil, basophil. Alright, and I'm gonna share videos about blood typing because I think this slide is not gonna be enough about this, and we have gone into detail in our previous class about that too.